we decided that we'll go back up towards Port St. John's and just see what the reefs were looking like. The visibility was a good 8 to 10 meters. What was more impressive was the structure that we found down on the bottom. Really nice big high ledges, lots of fish. I'm sure most of these fish here have never ever seen a scuba diver, so everything was really inquisitive, coming in nice and close. It's almost an intermediate zone between the cold temperate waters of the Cape and the warm waters of the East Coast. Some nice plants that we both get down in the Cape and in Natal. Some hard and soft corals. Lots of fish that we find in both the Cape and in Natal, like this cat-faced rockcod. Just nice to get an idea of what's below the sardines as they swim by. And once we are coming up to the surface, a whole big pod of the common dolphins came in. Now these animals are, for me, the nucleus of the whole sardine run. They're the animals that corral the sardines into small balls, and once that happens, the gannets, the other game fish can feed, the sharks can come in and feed. So without these animals' speed and agility, very limited feeding takes place. As the sun came up, we were joined by a couple of common dolphins. As it got a bit lighter, we came across quite a nice scattered group of gannets and dolphins, both plunging into the water. Definitely there was some kind of bait fish in the water. We're sitting here just north of Port St. John's. You can see the river mouth in the distance. What's so frustrating about these groups of feeding gannets and dolphins at this time of the morning, it's not really concentrated. It's very sporadic, very scattered, and makes quite difficult for us to kind of pinpoint where the actual action is. The visibility pretty low. It was still very early in the morning. We kind of just drifted in this murky gloom. Now and again, a couple of the common dolphins would come in, small pockets of the red-eye sardines that pass us. You can see they're not swimming in tightly bunched packs and very loose, which makes it very difficult for all the predators to feed on them. Once back on the boat, it was quite obvious why we weren't seeing anything under the water. You can see a little bit of diving here, a little bit of diving there, a couple of dolphins all over the place. About 10, 11 o'clock, we were back into the Port St. John's river mouth. The high tide pushing in now, and you always kind of breathe a nice sigh of relief coming into these nice, calm, tranquil waters. About 4 k's out to sea, and the next minute this burst of dolphins just exploded out of the water right next to the boat. Today it just may be our big day for some sardine action. as it started getting light, these Cape gannets started the diving. Once we got into the water, it was quite plain to see what all the action and the excitement was about. This was our first little bait ball of Sardinops sagax, which is the common Natal sardine, and it's the first ones that we've seen for the year. These guys slightly bigger than the red eyes that we've been forming over the last couple of weeks, and you can see these animals bunch a lot closer together, and when the predators arrive, they form really tight little balls, which makes it a lot easier for a lot of the predators to get a decent mouthful of food. I did find it quite strange this morning, as soon as we got in, that all the predators sort of disappeared. I think this is one of the little pilot pockets that have moved up the coast ahead of the main shoals, so there should be a lot of predation on them. Very encouraging for us. At last these little pockets have arrived, and hopefully now some real action is going to start taking place.